Hello everyone, my name is CCG88 and welcome to episode 63 of the Refurbished Logo Evolution series. There's loads of home video distribution companies out there. I've done quite a few in the past like Good Times, 3G, Guild and Vestron. Out of those four, Guild is the only one that's British, and that was episode 45. So I think it's about time I have a look at another British VHS and DVD organisation, and I have chosen Castle Home Video. Castle Home Video has gone under 4 different names since it launched in 1987. They've called themselves Castle Vision, Castle Video, Castle Home Video and Castle Pictures. There was also a music video division called Castle Music Pictures. They were the home video arm of Castle Communications, which was founded in 1983. From 1994 to 2000, Castle Communications, and thus the home entertainment arm, was owned by an American company called Alliance Entertainment, not to be confused with the Canadian Alliance Communications. In 2000, Castle was then acquired by the Sanctuary Records Group. In 2007, they became a subsidiary of the Universal Music Group and dissolved into Universal. As such, Castle followed suit. Since 2013, Sanctuary has been owned by BMG, with its global distribution handled by Warner. Castle's successor is Studio Canal. Castle's history is a bit confusing. For some reason, it seems that in 1990, they were using 5 logos at once. The Studio Wiki's page for this wasn't properly updated until recently. Beforehand, some of the logos were in the wrong order. It also seems that some of the logos have different dates to what most people think, as well as some unnecessary variants. Whatever the case, sit back and enjoy. Their first logo is often called the Grid of Doom, and it looks like this. It was in use from 1987 to, I believe, 1993. I have 5 other things to show you that contain this logo. One is extended, where you see a blank grey screen for another 10 seconds or so. Two have the logo cut into something else. One is a normal version followed by one of the Yorkshire Television logos. And one is cut a lot shorter and goes into a promotion.
Welcome to a bright new wonderland.
The remaining 2 versions are from a Tugs promo.
Historical documentaries with the Men of Our Time series, Falklands War, The Untold Story, drama, human legends, and Hollywood legends, and the very best of opera and ballet from the world's most renowned venues. Just part of the superb range from Castle Vision.
This isn't the best of starts. The animation is certainly outdated by today. What made this logo infamous though was the music. That harsh guitar drone is a bit off-putting I suppose, but it's the dramatic final notes that made it scary. I don't have a problem with this logo though. It's rough and it may freak out some people, but it doesn't affect me at all. I actually have this logo on a VHS of How to Irritate People from 1968. I haven't watched it yet, but it's nice to own. As I mentioned before, the Studio Wiki had these logos in the wrong order until recently, which is very helpful. So even though this logo is what most people would call the 4th, it is in fact the 2nd. Most people like to call it the Arrows or the Portcullis of Doom. It was in use from 1988 until it was discontinued around the late 90s. Most people say 1998. I have 5 videos. 2 say Castle Home Video. One is extended with a fade out and one simply cuts. The remaining 3 say Castle Pictures. One animates the same as the previous variant, and 2 have a film strip around the arrows with Castle Pictures in 2 different separate fonts. There's an extended version, and a short version that cuts off as soon as the logo finishes animating. This is the most infamous logo from the company, and it's easy to see why. Some say the animation is cheap, but I don't think it is. For 1988, it's decently made. Once again though, it's the music and sounds that made it as disreputable as it is today. Some hate that synth note and the wishes at the beginning, and the hate of the symbol at the end. I have a feeling that a lot of people misunderstand and overlook this logo. For what it is, it's somewhat nostalgic and it's made moderately well. It seems that the folks at Castle put all the effort when stylising this, because it seems that no effort whatsoever went into their next logo, the Portcullis of Boredom. The date for this logo was originally 1989 to the 1990s, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it was in use until 1999. A white version exists. At this point, I need to mention what a portcullis is. If you don't know, a portcullis is essentially a giant vertically closing gate, typically found in medieval castles. This is why the company is called Castle. Instead of including an actual castle, it instead has a gate leading into it. Several fans like to call this logo out in particular and give it nicknames such as Hypocritical Vision or Where's the Castle, purely because a castle wasn't part of the logo. This wasn't helped by the COG Wiki, but thankfully those nicknames were removed off the main page. Their first and last logo does not contain a portcullis, so you can call those two hypocritical, but I don't understand why I'd have a go at the others. The logo itself is completely boring, hence the nickname I gave it, but at least there's a different coloured version. That's neat, right? Up next is their Music Pictures logo. You could call it the Colourful Arrow / Portcullis. It was seen throughout the 80s and 90s, but I've only seen it in 1989 and in 1990. I have noticed 3 versions. One has a logo lasting 30 seconds, one has the logo lasting 13 to 14 seconds, and one lasts 7 seconds. It animates fairly nicely for its time, but it's odd how there is no music. Logos that animate should have music. I can understand still logos not having something going on in the background, but for a logo like this, some music would be nice, even if it was just some simple whooshes or something. Then again, every time Castle tries to add music, it ends up annoying viewers, so maybe not. Well, not with the next logo. Heading back to their normal home video division now, we end up at the colourful Portcullis 2, which was in use from 1990 to 1992. Personally, I think this is the most mysterious out of the lot. It was used for the shortest time, and I have no clue what tapes have it. I can't seem to find any VHS openings on YouTube that have it. If anyone has a clue where this logo can be seen, leave a comment below, it really helps. This might be the simplest animated logo today, but once again I think it does the job. The whooshes aren't nearly as bad here as they were in the second logo, and the slamming sound effect at the end is tame too. It's a shame that this just has sound effects rather than actual music. Do any of Castle's logos have okay animation with some okay music? Because so far, either the music and or the animation terrifies people, there's no music at all, there's no animation at all, or there's just sound effects. Castle's final logo attempts to answer that question. Welcome to the Rainbow Oval in Space, used from 1995 until Castle's demise in 2007. A shorter version exists. This is a hard one to chew through. The music's nice, but the animation looks sort of cheap, especially with the camera panning down and turning very quickly. I don't know if it's just me, but just before the flash, the C looks like an E. When I first saw this, I thought it read Esau. Does anyone else think that? I guess for its time it isn't completely awful. You know, it would be cool to see if I could get every single Castle logo on VHS. Considering that we're both British, that shouldn't seem too difficult. Overall though, the logos are alright. They fluctuate quite a lot, which I guess you could say is a good thing. They aren't terrible, but none of them are masterpieces either. At the end of the day, they've been dead for 13 years. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye!